Hello and welcome to another 5-minute first impressions. I'm Anthony Mallock and this is reviewyour.website reviewing marebotanics.com. So let's have a look. So the image loaded quite quickly. This is actually the second time I loaded the website, but just to note, the image did load fairly quickly the first time I did it. The first thing I did notice though was the quality was quite grainy. It's clearly JPEG'd and it's been compressed to probably to enable quick loading, but it just drops the quality of your website. I think a flat color would add more than the texture of the roses. A large background image like that with detail in it does tend to date a design. The other thing you could possibly look into is using a blur, possibly like a Gaussian blur, that might take away some of that, or maybe just use a PNG instead. The next thing I'm noticing is we've been redirected from the previous URL to cuisinerose.com, which doesn't inspire confidence. There's no HTTPS here, so we could be, from a user point of view, I've already been redirected from where I wanted to be to somewhere else. So I don't feel very confident in what's happening. So just had a thought there about the background image. Possibly look into an SVG, and you could make a vector maybe with a similar pattern that would get the idea of rose petals across, and it would be a lot quicker to load and might look more modern and clean. The first thing I see then, obviously we're talking about roses here. I see the word rose here and rose. There's a huge amount of padding on the top of this header. That's really it's pushing your content further down the page. It does serve to kind of add a little bit of white space, but it doesn't match with anything. I suppose it's similar in width to your vertical padding here, your side margins, but more often than not they tend to be disconnected, the vertical from the horizontal padding. So let's move on. Your header here, so you've got a header in complete separation to your body, which is an old enough technique in terms of boxing away content in a header like that, but if that's the approach you want to take, we can work with it. So we have here, we're looking at your main logo. So first of all, take a quick look at the mouse over, and we're seeing just the name of the image. So just add an alt text to give the actual to give the mouse over some text, maybe spell out Cuisine Rose. It'll be more handy for accessibility for screen readers. They'll be able to read it out, but also showing up the image name is a bit unprofessional. Next thing I'm looking at, it did take me a few seconds to kind of understand what you're trying to say here, Cuisine Rose. There's a lot of extra stuff, movement going on here in curves. I would pick a cleaner font, but maybe you've branded your products to work with that, so that mightn't be possible. Next things, we have three kind of elements. Well, we have four elements in our header here. We have this logo to the left, which is based on the previous URL, which is kind of strange. Why do you need two logos? Your message is kind of getting unclear. So we've this logo, and then we've the languages on the right, and then we have your navigation bar on the bottom. So the navigation bar and the three, I think they need a little bit more padding between them in here. But the three again, the alignment of the three items, this and this, they're completely disjoint. So I get that this is completely centered, but this is on the left, and it's okay, it has a certain amount of margin here, which isn't the same as the margin over here until I mouse over, so it doesn't really work in that sense. Second of all, the vertical alignment, so none of these are aligned to the same vertical. Maybe this is, but this is throwing it off here, not being aligned there. And then again, they're not aligned at the bottom, so that they just seem unbalanced and not in a asymmetric kind of way. So let's fly down. The spacing here is not ideal, and when I mouse over, the border on this box isn't the nicest. I'm going to continue this in a second video, so I'll continue this in that.